Hello, campers, and welcome to WKOZ Radio, bringing the fun and creative invigoration of Camp Cosmographia to you. I'm your host, Camp Director, and Creativity Counselor, Nina Alvarez. Everyone, gather around the flagpole. Today is a special day. It's like an assembly day, like you used to have in grade school. So here's what's happening so far. We've been to the trailhead at Memoir Meadows. Some of you have signed up for trail walks and been with our trail guides through the My Story Woods or sat with me on a Saturday evening around the campfire. We've listened in on a creativity counseling session. We visited Holly at the High Bridge. We've caught a glimpse of the slipstream, learned a little bit about the poetry passage that winds through camp, and you've gotten wind of the Arts and Crafts Lodge, though that is an exploration for next time. But like I said, today is a special day at camp. Today, we're going to Cosmo's Hollow. That's where we watch and listen to performances. It's sort of a natural outdoor amphitheater. But today, we're going to be visited by the ghost of Ray Bradbury. You probably know Ray Bradbury. He wrote Fahrenheit 451, Something Wicked This Way Comes, The Martian Chronicles, Dandelion Wine, Zen and the Art of Writing, and as an autumn person, one of my favorites, The Halloween Tree. Bradbury is also one of the patron saints of Camp Cosmographia. His focus on fun, on the writer's need to keep fidelity to what the mind truly loves and enjoys, to wonder, to fascination. He is a great role model. At camp, we talk about making writing fun again, like it was when you were 8 or 13, when a blank page meant infinite possibility instead of guaranteed disappointment. Why have so many of us writers lost our joy? Along the years, I have helped many other writers professionally and in my capacity as their friend to work through and understand their creative blocks. And I want to share some of the things I've learned with you. So, most people come to me not because they're new writers and don't know what to write about, but because they have been writing a long time, but they still haven't produced that great work they know they could. They are met right and left with all sorts of resistance in the form of writer's block, lack of confidence, or they have the book drafted and something just isn't working. If you're one of these people, then today's Camp Cosmographia experience is just for you. Oh, here we are. I love it here. I love to just sit down on these natural amphitheater steps. Ground is nice and soft, but there's a support behind my back. And make yourselves comfortable, everyone. The ghost of Ray Bradbury will appear soon. For now, grab a drink from the cooler, sit back, and I'll continue to tell you about writer's block. First, some of you are slow burns. You're probably intellectual, highly sensitive, perfectionistic. And on top of that, you are trying to do something that feels pretty new in the world, signature to you. So the stakes are very high. This high level of sensitivity and perfectionism can work for you or against you. It works against you when you are comparing your work. I wish I had a better word for this. I hate the word work. It's just so, ugh, you know. When you're comparing your creative endeavors to an ideal outside of yourself, there's the word again. It works for you when you are measuring what you've made against an ideal inside yourself. So, though your sensitivity has made you more susceptible to self doubt and real or imagined pain of rejection of your art so far, it is the tool you can use to measure where your true essential self comes through in your words and your creations versus where your social conditioned self is taking over. When we're younger, and I mean like new, we're better at catching ideas and we're open to catching the right words or images, but turning these into metaphors that extend into stories that go somewhere meaningful, that is where time and inevitably deepening of the soul and consciousness come in. So your slow burn does have a purpose and a necessity. The problem is that you're 30 and then you're 35 and then you're 40 and then you're 45 and the slow burn is starting to burn a permanent hole in your brain. You walk around just gnawing at yourself, knowing you were meant to say something true to the world and you still haven't said it. But here's where I'm going to part from the writing gurus. I don't believe that you can fix this. I don't think it's fixable with like duct tape and a map, with platitudes, with advice. It took Milton 30 years to write Paradise Lost. He had a vision for it when he was younger. He had a dream to become England's poet with a capital P. He taught himself multiple languages, dove into classical history and literature. He himself was active in politics and led a public-facing life as Secretary for Foreign Tongues by the Council of State of England. It has been said that developing this knowledge base and his own way of writing was the rigorous part of writing Paradise Lost, not the actual writing. Or the more rigorous part, let's say. I may not be Milton, but I have been down a similar path, and I know many others like me who have also. In the name of this glowing ember of a book idea, we have taught ourselves basically a PhD's worth of material. And I also know we don't want to wait another 15 years to finish our book and to do our good work in the world and to be seen for the writers that we are. There is a type, an archetype maybe, I don't know, of the writer who is trying to straddle the cosmic and the intellectual and the material. I don't know how we do it. It isn't easy, at least not yet in our human evolution. I know that this wouldn't be such a problem if the stakes didn't feel so high. If I felt okay borrowing a story formula that already existed, if I didn't sense innately that there was the eye of the duck, as David Lynch puts it, that I must not fail to place correctly. For me, the eye of the duck was always this metaphysical figure watching from inside the unhewn dolmen, as the ancient Irish verse goes, but with millions of ways to tell a story and a master's degree in English, a sensitive and perfectionistic tendency, certain psychic parts that were open and other parts that were so bound up in received rules of writing. The real journey for me is not can you write a beginning, middle, and end, but can you write the story in a way that feels true? I get closer with time and distance and perspective, but I have stayed up many nights thinking, when am I going to be done? When am I going to get this right? Oh, okay. Oh, here he comes. All right, this is exciting. He's about to take the stage. Okay, as he's getting his notes ready, in Ray Bradbury's book, Zen and the Art of Writing, he tells his own journey. Here, I have it. I have the book with me. Let me pull it out. Okay, bookmarked. Okay, he wrote. I began to put down brief notes and descriptions of loves and hates. All during my 20th and 21st years, I circled around summer noons and October midnights, sensing that there somewhere in the bright and dark seasons must be something that was really me. I finally found it one afternoon when I was 22 years old. I wrote the title, The Lake, on the first page of a story that finished itself 2 hours later. 2 hours after that, I was sitting at my typewriter out on a porch in the sun with tears running off the tip of my nose and the hair on my neck standing up. Why the arousal of hair and dripping nose? I realized I had at last written a really fine story. Okay, he's about to start.
Thank you. Oh, this is great. I got out of acting when I was 21. The reason I'm here tonight is because I quit acting, because I couldn't remember the goddamn lines. But I discovered lecturing was a wonderful substitute, so I could just get up here and say anything I wanted to say off the top of my head. And tonight, there's a lot I want to say because I recognize the need of many of you to be writers, and you don't want to do the wrong things. So for at least 5 minutes, I want to talk about the hygiene of writing for you, so you won't do anything wrong in the next year. I don't want you to be a snob about anything. Anything you love, you do it. It's got to be with a great sense of fun. Writing is not a serious business. It's a joy and a celebration. You should be having fun at it. Ignore the authors who say, oh my God, what work, oh Jesus Christ, you know. Not to hell with that, huh? It is not work. If it's work, stop it and do something else. Now, what I'm thinking of it, people are already saying, well, what do we do about a sudden blockage in your writing? What if you have a blockage and you don't know what to do about it? Well, it's obvious you're doing the wrong thing, aren't you? You're in the middle of writing something, you go blank, and your mind says, no, that's it, huh? Okay, you're being warned, aren't you? Your subconscious is saying, I don't like you anymore. You're writing about things I don't give a damn for, huh? You're being political, or you're being socially aware. You're writing things that will benefit the world. To hell with that, huh? I don't write things to benefit the world. If it happens that they do, swell, huh? I didn't set out to do that. I set out to have a hell of a lot of fun, huh? I've never worked a day in my life. I have never worked a day in my life. The joy of writing has propelled me from day to day and year to year. Huh? I want you to envy me my joy. Huh? Get out of here tonight and say, am I being joyful? Huh? And if you have a writer's block, you can cure it this evening by stopping whatever you're writing and doing something else. You picked the wrong subject. Over the years, I've been offered various screenplays by famous directors. But my subconscious knows exactly what I can do and what I can't do. Back in 1955, I believe it was, Otto Preminger, the great director, offered me The Man with the Golden Arm. Okay, it's about drugs. I don't give a goddamn about drugs, you see. It bores the hell out of me. I don't understand people who take them. So why would I write a screenplay? Yeah, why would I do that, you know? I'd get a writer's block immediately. Yeah. You can't, there's some things you can't do. I was offered Another film by Preminger the next year, a crime book, analysis of a famous trial, all about stained underwear, okay? Did I grab you right there, huh? Well, I turned that down. I turned down $200,000 worth of screenplays because I knew if I took the money, it would destroy me. Huh? What you're all looking for, but maybe you don't know it, what you're looking for in your writing, in your life, is for one person to come up to you and say, I love you because of what you do. I love you for what you do. I had my first experience like that when Martian Chronicles was published in the spring of 1950. I didn't know what I had done. The book sold just 5,000 copies, that's all. But I took the train to New York for the publication of the book. I arrived in Chicago. I had 2 hours between trains. I walked over to the Art Institute to meet with a friend for lunch. I got there, I looked up at the top of the stairs. There were a bunch of tourists up there who were gathered for a tour, I guess. But all of a sudden they turned and walked down the stairs to me. And all 20 of these tourists were holding a copy of the Martian Chronicles. Huh? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? They were my lovers. They were my lovers. I'd never seen them before. And they handed their books over to be signed. And I knew what writing was all about. Huh? Not the money, not the money, but someone paying attention and saying, hey, you're okay. You're not nuts the way people said. We love you. We love you. So I've been all over the place tonight. I hope I've given you enough important hints of the joy and the wonder of writing.
Oh, well, like the unicorn in Evie Rue's old poem, dear Ray has now passed back to the realm of imagination. And I can barely stand up. That was so good, I'm dizzy. Let's let that sink in as we go about the rest of our day. And on that note, there's lots more to talk about, but we'll save that for next time. We'll continue diving into this question of writer's block. What is it really? What does it mean to align more and more with what you really like and what you really mean? And to choose joy and fun in the process. And I'll take you to our next area of discovery here at camp, a place actually called the Writer's Block. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to camp. Be sure to join us next time. This has been Nina Alvarez with WKOZ, Camp Cosmographia Radio. Happy trails.